So now that we've got the concepts of voltage, current, and resistance under our belts, let's just talk about Ohm's law. So Ohm's law is the relationship that you see right there. V equals IR. Voltage equals current times resistance. This is a useful relationship to keep in mind. It's simple, but we need it for lots of little things. So it expresses a relationship between voltage, current, resistance, and it tells you a few things about the behavior of a circuit. So for instance, say you've got a circuit and the voltage is fixed. You know, it's 5 volts, running at 5 volts. If you increase the resistance, then current will go down. Right? That makes sense because the voltage is fixed, right? Our Arduino is running at 5 volts, it's driving 5 volts onto its output pin. So anything you connect to it, if the resistance goes up, I has to go down to keep the relationship the same, right? So that's the most useful thing about this law, is that it gives you this intuition about current flow, right? Current flow and voltage and resistance and how they're all related. And we need to know that in certain cases. So it's used. So one way to do it, to use this relationship, is to compute one variable when you're given the other two. So say you know the voltage, you know the current, you can solve for resistance. Or you can do it the other way. Say I know the current and I know the voltage. I know the current, and I know the resistance. I can solve for voltage, and so on. So given two, you can solve for the other one. So when would you need to do this? So one use is what resistor do I need to limit current flow? Now this is going to happen a lot, where your Arduino is connected to a component, and this component, it only accepts a certain amount of current. If you give it too much current, it will blow up. Something bad will happen. So you know that when you connect it to this component, you have to add some resistor just to reduce the current flow to the appropriate level. So if you want to figure out, well, what resistance do I need to make sure that my current is low enough, you plug in the voltage, say Arduino Uno is 5 volts. The current limit that you want, you plug that in, and then you can solve for the resistance and say, okay, this is the type of resistor that I need. So that's one way to use this, that you will need to use this. Another one is, what voltage can I expect for a given resistance? And this is more on the, this is commonly something you need to figure out for on the input side. So, and we'll get to this in later module. But the idea is that say the Arduino is connected to some sensor of some kind, okay? And this sensor, so our Arduino, it's going to be reading the voltage that the sensor is outputting. But what voltage do I expect? So say I have it connected to a light sensor, right? This, when the brightness is a certain level, I'll get a certain resistance in my sensor. So what voltage would I expect to see in my Arduino? So I can use this type of equation to figure that out. Say, well, I know what the current has to be, and I know the voltage will be this, the resistance will be such and such at this light level, so the voltage has to be. And then you can use that inside your program. You can say, if the voltage I measure is greater than this threshold, then do this, else do that, and so on. So V equals IR is sort of a very common law, and you use it a lot for lots of little things. Thank you.